What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Mark here with the Better Mark. Let's get into today's July 3rd Major League Baseball betting picks. I'm going to go over each and every game, get you guys some insight and analysis and how I'm feeling about these spots as I give you guys my 5 best bets at the end of this video. So make sure you guys all stick around to the end. Also, please check out the channel sponsors we have down below, oddsjam. Make sure you guys all sign up to that, and the Discord, where I do have a link if you want to get started in that community. Totally free to get involved over there. And also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, this is a perfect time to do so. Make sure you guys all subscribe down below. Smash that like button, and let's talk some sports. Let's talk some bets, and let's get into it. So, quick apology for yesterday. I was out of the office, like I said. For those of you over at Discord, I was at the Pirates game, actually. A lot of explosion in that contest. Had a buddy of mine wanting to go get some Thai food, so we just said, screw it on a limb, took the family and kind of just made a day in Pittsburgh. So didn't want to do just kind of took the day off too as well from all things media related and kind of my job too. I just kind of blew everything off. So it is what it is, but we needed the rain delay within the Kansas City game last night. The only bet I did make was in I think I took a little 3-team action. I needed Kansas City to close that one out. But I did like Kansas City quite a bit, but they had that rain delay down 1-0, and the rest was history. But let's get into it. Let's get into the picks. Hope you guys are all doing well. Let's get into the picks, right? We have the first game on the card, White Sox and Guardians, okay? This is one where I don't understand the actual number here, okay? So if you guys have any insight, please correct me. But Gavin Williams coming off a 60-day IL. He is, looked pretty good in recent starts for a rookie, being called up from the Indians farm system. But now we look at this game going against Eric Fed. He's one of the guys from Chicago that I do like to bet if I was going to bet him. Last night they needed a sac fly walk-off to kind of get that job done. I just don't agree with this number. Quite frankly, they went extra innings, used some bullpen. This opens the door for Chicago, especially Cleveland winning. I know White Sox are pretty bad, but this is just a play on numbers. Plus 171 on the money line for the White Sox is too much. So I do like that, and I do like the plus 1.5 at minus 125. So a little sprinkle I'm going to be doing here on the White Sox money line. That's just too much money in value to pass up. So especially with the pitcher for the Indians coming off of the injured reserve, that kind of opens up that door as well for some weird stuff to happen. But we'll see what happens. I just like the value. All right. Next one is Boston and Miami. This is another game where you can look into some of the Trevor Rogers numbers, and you understand that he's getting blown up out of the water. Bello, hit or miss. But we look at last night's contest. You see the run scored. I think it was like 9-4 maybe or something like along those lines. So I do think that the over-under 8 is a little too low. I almost took the over in this game, quite frankly. Every time I bet on Miami, they seem to have let me down. 30-55 on the season. So for me, it's either Red Sox or the over, with a stronger lean towards the over. Okay. Then we're going to get to St. Louis and Pittsburgh. Yeah, that was one where the ball was definitely flying out of the ballpark. A little sticky out there as well on the river. No wind, but it was flying. A lot of the pop-ups that, quite frankly, didn't look like it had a chance. They just kept sailing. So I think you can look into this game. The over 8 is way too low. I know Jared Jones has been one of the bright sides with this Pirates pitching rotation, other than what the likes of Paul Skeens has been up to, but I would favor the over 8 in this game. Okay, just kind of where I'm at, and it just kind of screams over to me as well, and quite frankly, almost made my card at that 8 number. All right. Mets, Washington. Okay, this one is kind of one where I had to go back and forth a little bit, and we can look at Mitchell Parker, another lefty going. Okay, the Mets have been doing pretty good business against left-handed pitching. Christian Scott, conversely, on the 42 and 41 Mets, 0-2, 3.9 on the season. And when we look at this game, there's some stuff that really doesn't make sense to me in this regard, okay? I just absolutely favor the under in this game. Mitchell Parker's been kind of getting the job done, okay? And I don't really trust the Nationals' bats in this spot. This is kind of a contrarian play, right? I think that there's a lot of steam going on the over, quite frankly, and I'm going to go under. You can take the 8.5 at plus 102, but I bought that half run, and we have that at the under 9 at minus 120. That's just where I'm at. That's where my play is going to be in this contest. I just see some value and going a little contrarian because I am picking up on some steam within the over in this spot. But for some reason, I just looked at the numbers, looked at pitching metrics, and I just don't see it getting done. So we could look for Mitchell Parker to maybe show some regression, but these last two games against Washington, we had 7-2 and 9-7. It's just teed up for an over. So, like I said, it's going to be a contrarian play for me. I know in the Mets' last 5 ball games, every one of their games have went over 9 or a push. Okay, but it's just something where I just see this game for some odd reason just going low scoring. So look for Mitchell Parker to have a good outing. Like I said, it's going to be a contrarian play for me, and I'm going to be taking this game on the under. Quite frankly, it's sometimes this happens when the numbers don't agree with your vibe. Everything about this game is screaming over, but why is the number still stuck where it's at? And so that's kind of where I'm at. So this will be a play for me on the Mets under 9. All right. Next game, Reds, Yankees. Okay, Andrew Abbott, Carlos Rodon. If you like it, go for it. Go for the Reds. Plus 167 on the money line. I'm not going to play it. But Carlos Rodon, definitely hit or miss. This is a fade spot if you want to really get into it. At home, anything can happen with the Reds lineup. At short, the ball's going to be flying out of the ballpark. This game is screaming runs as well. It's a weird situation too. 8.5. I actually really like the over 8.5 runs in this contest. This one, is another one where it almost made my card too. So maybe you guys can get into a little fun action, just doing a little lottery ticket, taking a lot of these totals. Maybe take 5 to 8 of them, put for $1 or something. Maybe that's what I'll end up doing. Kind of a home run, if you will. I know you guys like to screw around with that on Discord. Fun coupons, all that good stuff, but not a profitable way about going about it. But I was going through all these games, and the majority of them have been kind of jumping off the page as over games, and the weather kind of supports that. A lot of things going in our direction, but like I said, we will be getting into for my best bets. We do have that one Mets under, and then we do have another over that's coming, but a lot of it leans in favorability to the overs in these contests. Okay. Next game is the Houston-Toronto game, and here we are, guys. This is where we are going to be taking the Astros, another fishy spot. I absolutely love this bet. I can't tell you enough how much I love this bet. This is probably my favorite bet on the day, and that's probably why you should bet Toronto. Just kidding. But no, Kikuchi is one of those pitchers where, quite frankly, this is something where he's been getting, I shouldn't say him, but the Astros have been doing their business against lefties, okay? And Kikuchi, couple that with the fact that over his last few starts, he's been absolutely abysmal, and he does not really go far into the games. I know they had to use some arms yesterday as the Astros kind of made a comeback where they could have probably coasted into the weekend and really did themselves some positive, some good news, but it's not going to be that way. Okay, I think this is where Kikuchi gets absolutely rocked. I think the market's wrong. I think that the Astros minus 1-2 with Ronald Blanco pitching is a complete and utter joke. I know Toronto's been putting up some runs lately, but I just don't see it. So maybe I'll come to you guys tomorrow and you can say I told you so. But quite frankly, this one I think is a home run play that the books have wrong. I think Kikuchi gets taken out back and gets the business from the Astros, especially yesterday after coming off of a loss, losing 7-6. Whether we get another shootout like 7-6, who knows? But the under's juiced up at minus 120. But I just do like Kikuchi. I'm sorry. I do like playing against him right here. This is something where it's almost too good to be true, seeing some of these pitching metrics that I found on the internet. Kind of recent starts against the Astros. And then we look at the money, look at the betting splits. Right now, what I'm looking at, you have over 90% of the money is on the Astros minus 114. That number has already shifted, and conversely, the public is all on Toronto. I don't get it. I think this is one of those spots where the number's wrong. I think people are kind of just barking up the wrong tree. So I'm probably going to be hammering this bet. And this is something where if you do watch my videos early, not financial advice, obviously, but this is one where this number will move by game time. And this works both ways. So if we get a little closer to first pitch, which is at 7:07, and you kind of see a little buyback on Toronto, this will be something that maybe somebody knows something. So this is a full alarm for me, because this is one of those spots where I just don't see it. I don't see why this number is so close. I think that the Astros should be closer to $1.30, if not higher, in this game. So I see some value on the Astros. I'm going to bang it, and we'll see what happens. All right. Next game we're going to get into is the Giants and Braves. This is one where we got Jordan Hicks going against Chris Sale. Chris Sale, if you guys have any Cy Young tickets for him, do not throw those ones away. You still have a shot. Outstanding season thus far, 10-3, 2.79 ERA. This is Braves or nothing, but I kind of look for this to kind of go into the mantra where if you really want to get into an under, this is something where I look first inning, no runs. Also, I do see a ton of opportunity, potentially taking that run and a half with the Giants, especially because if you see low scoring, last game was 5-3, and I think maybe Lopez pitched for Atlanta, but Atlanta coming off of a loss, they put up 5 runs, the Giants did, against Atlanta. I like for Chris Sale to do well in this spot, and quite frankly, I think this is something where, why not? Why can't they keep this game low scoring? So Jordan Hicks has not really been that crazy. And I think that kind of coincides with the fact that Atlanta could have a sluggish offensive performance. They hit a little bit better. They hit a little bit better at home, but I still think that it's Braves and the under in this spot. So that's where I like the under 8 runs that you can find minus 109 in the market. So that was one that almost made my card as well. So, but we are not going to play that. All right, Padres, Rangers, Adam Mazur and John Gray. This is Padres or nothing for me, but I can't get behind Mazur. So if you do want to play another over market, this is a great spot for an over as well. You can look at Mazur's kind of deeper numbers, and it's something where after getting called up, he had one good outing, I believe, but he's had 5 starts since then. He's giving up an average of about 279, and his runs have been 4-3-2, 8 was a bad one against Arizona, and 1 run given up, respectively. So those are the contests. I think over his last 2, though, the thing is you have to pay attention to is 6 hits, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 runs. Okay, does give up a tendency to give up at least 1 home run a game. Keep that in mind. For those of you that do like to bet home run props, but I don't really get into the pitching metrics a lot, but I just wanted to further kind of point this one out because this is something why I'm staying away. I just don't trust them. Okay, that's just quite plain and simple. Okay. Then the next game on the card, this is a big one. This is going to be one of the probably best games on TV today. Be tuned in, 8:05 first pitch, Zach Wheeler and Shota Imanga, or Imananga, whatever you want to call him. I apologize for butchering any names. I don't mean any disrespect to anybody out there. But that's where we look at the Phillies. Loved them yesterday, plus money, another one of those lines I didn't agree with. And now we see him again, plus 131. So somebody explain to me why. I just don't think that Bryce Harper and I think Schwarber's back possibly, but just their lineup is so deep with or without those guys. And I know MVP status, candidacy, that's a big thing, but I just don't see that being so much of an impact to the line because without those guys, I still would take the Phillies lineups over the Cubs. Okay, and that's kind of how I put it. I do like the Phillies again in this spot. I know that Imananga pitched well last time out, but he is vulnerable. He has been known to have a couple explosions. Implosions, I should say. And this is something where I see some value taking the Phillies on the run line. I really do. But the bet that I'm going to be making in this contest is we're going to be taking the over 7.5 runs. I think that's where the best bet is. I think that Wheeler has a tendency to give up a couple long balls. I know he gets it done from a strikeout market, but we are just going to hope for maybe the Cubs to scratch 2 or 3 against him. And then I see the Phillies winning probably from a margin of like 6-3. I could see this game playing out like that, 5-3 kind of ball game. So we are taking the over 7.5 in the Cubbies Phillies game. All right. Tigers Twins, Keeter Montero and David Festa. This is another one, right? You can see some value, plus 149 on the Tigers. Festa had a horrible first start in the big leagues. That's where I'm at. It's Tigers or nothing. No further analysis needed, but not official play. All right. Tampa Bay, Kansas City. You want to do a little zigzag? Go for it. Go back to Kansas City at home. Plus 100, roughly even on the market. You get Michael Wacha out there against Ryan Pepiot. I have trouble betting against Pepiot. He's kind of been one of my guys this year, betting on the Rays. When I do bet on him, I kind of look to get involved when he's on the bump. But I'm not going to play this game. It kind of stung me last night. I'm a little bit biased. Got to get that one, got to swallow that one and move on. So that's just kind of how I am. Sometimes when I get these weird spots, I like to just cross them off altogether. That way I can recharge and kind of not think about it. All right. Brewers, Rockies, Colin Ray and Dakota Hudson. This is one where you got to give me the Brew Crew right here. If you do make any parlays of the day, this is where the Brewers would definitely be in there for me. They've lost a couple in a row to the likes of Colorado. And I know they're on the road, but give me any team against Dakota Hudson. I like what Colin Ray does. I know the Brewers came back yesterday and won 4-3, but it is one where it's been kind of a close series, 7-8 and 4-3 respectively. So I like for the Brewers in this spot to kind of take 2 or 3 as we move into the weekend. Okay, Angels Athletics. We have kind of a weird situation. I don't bet either of these teams, full disclosure, so I can't really give you guys an analysis. We have, it just seems like it's kind of a little bit of my strategy too. I do this from time to time in NFL as well. I have a no bet list. I know it's stupid. I keep tabs on these teams, but if I want to handicap the best possible, right? Let's say you have 32 teams in whatever sport, right? You take 2 of those teams off, it just greatly improves your odds. In my opinion, gives you a better edge because you get more specific into what teams are available. So I have a list. I don't really share that list too often, but right now the Athletics are on that list, as well as the Angels in terms of a side perspective. Okay, now we're getting into the Orioles Mariners. This is where we have the last game before I give you my final pick and play in the Dodgers game. Okay, but I do looking at the spot. I could see this being a dead under. That's kind of where I'm at. That would be my best bet. If we look at this, we got a 7.5 total with a minus 135. There's a reason why it's like that. And when I go through these games, I don't even look at the points, the runs, the run lines. I don't even look at that. I do the games. I tell you guys, this is probably my best strategy. Go look at the pitching matchups. Work it through the previous matchups, work through some of the recent performances. If they're on a 4-game series, look at the first 2 games. If you're in the 3rd game, and just really see who's available from a bullpen perspective. Couple that, put it all together with the starting pitchers, who's playing, injuries, so on and so forth. And then get your numbers. Make your numbers. And if you know how kind of handicapping works, you can kind of formulate, hey, should this team be $1.20? You know what $1.20 is to the market. You know what an even number is. You know what a minus 270 should be from a money line standpoint. You should know what would warrant a 7.5 total versus a 10.5 total. You should be able to do that on your own, not just take what the books give you, because this is one of them spots where I look at this game, right? Orioles, Mariners, I got Kramer, Gilbert, okay? Without even looking at any deeper analytics, okay, I like Kramer sometimes. Let's see if he can get it done, put together a good performance. Mariners, kind of sometimes don't hit the ball at home. This is like a 4-3 game, so this is kind of how I handicap it. Logan Gilbert, like him on the mound, real low-scored games when he pitches. Like his strikeout props, I just kind of get these things like data points I just have ingrained in my head. And then from there, I can spit out the equation. Okay, so I'm going to have this game 7 runs. If I get any number at basically minus 110 above 7 runs. So if that's where you get a little bit of a cushion. Say this was 8.5, then this is a value play. You have a 1.5 advantage if you go by that. All right, that's kind of how I make my numbers. And then you can see what's a play, what's not a play. Some people won't play anything if it's over, if you're off by less than a half. What's your cutoff, right? If it's 0.3 you're off, then there's your line of demarcation where it does not have any value. So that's why it's important to kind of do your own power rankings, right? Don't just take the lines the sportsbooks give you, because a lot of times, if you look at them early enough before the money hits it and moves them, a lot of times they're wrong. So most of the time they're right, but a lot of times they're wrong. So that's where, for me, this is under or nothing. Okay, and then the final game is the Dodgers and Dbacks. Gavin Stone's pitching, right? I tell you guys, as long as Gavin Stone's pitching, I'm betting the Dodgers. I don't care who Arizona's rolling out there. Give me the Dodgers on the run line, plus 105. Get that early before it moves, and that will be my final play of the day. So a little aggressive today, a little different kind of attack, I would say, compared to how I like to bet personally. But we are taking some plus money. We're taking a couple totals, and I like Houston today. So those are my 5 best bets. You guys can do what you want with them. If you're welcome to fade me, whatever you feel like doing. But these are the bets that I have keyed in on. If you are interested in getting involved with that White Sox game, there's no shame in taking that plus 1.5 on the run line. With most cases, you're going to win that bet in extra innings, 100% of the time in most cases. And then also, I do think there is some chance that we see maybe a dominant performance from Gavin Williams, but I like to fade people off injuries, so that's kind of where I'm at in this spot. So those are my best bets. Good luck with your picks. Good luck with your bets as we get into July 4th tomorrow. So we'll see what we have going on there. Maybe do something fun. I haven't thought of anything yet, but let's see if I can put something together. But appreciate you guys watching. Subscribe down below on your way out, and we'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers.